I had to redo it just for a few minutes, but yet again, I had to rethink what I was saying. But um, yes, Robert Stormsink, you are right. He is an alien. He is an alien from Krypton, so therefore, does it really matter that is he black? Yes and no. The big difference, and I mean the big difference for Superman than anything else is you have a opportunity to show that yes, Clark Kent is a alien, but he's also white. That's all I'm gonna say. What I'm saying is when I'm using my terms very logically, he's a character that yes, you could fit him in Asian or whatever type of race. The problem is with that type of logic is it really how much are you going to push that stories that you've done in the books be represented, but also represent the skin color because Superman always represented the white male mentality for almost 80 years. Changing that character, and not having where, oh, we're using a different Superman in a different direction so we could have representing black people and their culture and everything between. When you dive into Asian and all that stuff and you bring into representation on the gender and all that crap, you bring that crowd. Superman brings a lot of people, black and white and all that stuff. People don't really want a black Clark Kent. That's the point. That's the point you fail miserably, you dumb fuck. And that's the problem that you have. And I can't even literally trust you on whatever video can you say because the biggest issue is you think it's not bad on having a Clark Kent that's black. It's just stupid. It's really fucking stupid. That's like saying let's change Captain America himself, Steve Rogers, into black. Instead of just having, why don't we just use Sam Wilson? I mean, there are characters that you have on your disposal and you don't use them. This is the thing that I hate about Warner Brothers. They don't understand DC. They clearly don't. If they did, they would have done their best to represent the characters. We would have had a franchise of Superman already. We would have multiple versions of Superman already. The problem is, and I mean, I'm going to say this with no fucking. I'm trying not to be controversial, but I'm going to say this right now. The problem is, Warner Brothers doesn't want to do Superman's villains. Warner Brothers doesn't like Superman. Warner Brothers only gives a shit about the Batfuck. They're John Cena. That's the biggest issue. And if you don't think that's not the case, then you are a biggest dumbass I could ever thought. I mean, I'm just saying. And the biggest issue is you think this is a good idea. Unfucking believable. And this is another thing. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. This movie, if this movie is successful, not only the legacy of Superman's being ruined by this black Clark Kent, this black Superman, but the whole history has changed. It doesn't matter if you're white, whatever. You could have a uh, Black Panther, and he could be white. Just whatever. But I'm going to say this right now. It really goes to show you, you know, studios that doesn't care. And that's the thing. I really want Superman to be represented. I really want Superman to be represented to where he goes, shows the character that he is. But if you don't do any of that crap and you just gender uh, swap his color just to appeal the fucking narrative that you're trying to pull, and I know exactly what you're trying to do, and that's exactly what I'm going to say this right now. They're only doing this just because of Sam Wilson, Captain America. You couldn't tell me I'm wrong if you life the fucking opinion on it. And I know I'm right. I know I'm right. And I'm done talking about this shit. Sam Wilson, Captain America, started this whole push in a really good nutshell even further. There were talks of a black Captain America, not black, a black Superman. Correct myself. What the fuck, man? Wrong universe. Anyway, but the problem is, you don't get it. People don't want a black Captain America. No, what the fuck I was saying. People don't want a black Superman. Correct myself. Damn it. Granted, I rest my case. I think personally, they really just they don't understand. They clearly don't. And I rest my case. Anyone that thinks that this is a good idea of having a black Superman is just literally lost it. Meanwhile, when Captain America being represented in so many ways, it's just not funny. Because I'll say this right now, Captain America, I'll say this, we have not only we celebrate the white boy, you could say, blonde hair, blue eyes type bullshit, but also we get to represent the black men as well in fucking yours truly, Captain America. But the problem is, you fuck big dumbass don't see that. But yet again, I'm done now. I had to do this response and say, yes, it does matter. It does matter because 80 fucking years of storytelling of making Superman to be a white male character. He is white male in the character. That's like changing Harry Potter into an Asian character. It's stupid. It's dumb. It changes that character. It changes everything about that character because now you're going to throw in the black culture. Now you're going to throw in everything between on that crap just to beef up that character. You're restructuring the character to what it's not. Isn't a black character like naked? Oh yeah, that too. I could agree with it. I could agree with something like that, but it's just honestly, it's just stupid. But yet again, my argument is it represents what that character is. He's always been written that character. Granted, you could be right. I mean, you could be right on what you're saying, the writing. But yet again, I could even argue where the black fucking male changes what that character is. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of an idiot. Maybe I'm too much of a dumbass. If you want to come in, I'll let you come in right now. Come aboard. If you want to come in. I would love to have you come in. Talk about this. Sounds something that, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But just, I don't know. I hope you come in. I don't know if you don't mind. I guess you're not coming. Anyway, I was just about to ending this thing and just kind of pretty much making my point on this whole video that Storm Singh did, and it just really kind of rubbed me in the wrong way. And I just like, you know what, I'm done. Let's just say my 2 cents and just fucking say it. And I also had to redo it just to kind of prove in more my point even further. But it's just the fact is the problem that I feel that I really just think that people like him just don't understand is you're going to throw in that culture, and that culture changes that character. I saw that happening. Actually, no, we take that back. We saw that technically with Johnny Storm, and it really showed that character being what he's not. He's a hothead white boy, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Oh, there you go. There he is. Oh, y'all doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No problem.
So my issue isn't necessarily being a black guy, because here's the thing: every 50 to 60 years, they got to do a change. Something to gather interest. And this is basically a Superman for the newer generation.
Could you say okay? Let's take the black out of the side. Could we say the same argument with Red Sun Superman?
Well, Red Sun Superman's an alternate story.
I know that, but it's the same type of like argument. He's from Russia. But could you argue? Can that be in the same type of like same type of argument where if we could do a black Superman, we could do a Russian Superman?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Red Sun's an alternate universe story. Mm-hmm. With Superman being black, it's more of a reboot for a newer generation. That's what they're trying to aim for. The only issue I have per se is Coates writing it, because Coates is a horrible writer. Despite his politics, he's just a terrible fucking writer.
Oh, what's he done? I'm just mind asking.
He's right now. He's a very political. He's a political writer, and he's writing the new Captain America books, the one that compares Jordan Peterson to the Red Skull.
I thought these books were just fine. Oh, wait. Are we talking about the new books that are out right now?
Yes.
Or we're talking about the other.
The new Captain America books that are being published right now, the one that compares Jordan Peterson.
But yet again, I always thought. Wait. I always thought. Okay. Well, fast right on that one. I always thought Captain America was like a political type character, so I felt like I didn't mind that. I honestly kind of felt like
Well, it's not about politics per se. It's about what's good and what's bad and good in the more common sense type of thing. It's not about politics.
I think.
It's about what's common sense.
To be fair, I think. So just mind saying this. To be fair, I don't mind that in Captain America, because I always feel like that should be talked about in Captain America. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm just one fan. I mean, granted, I didn't mind Sam Wilson as Captain America. In fact, I wanted him to stay as Captain America in the comics, because I think you could have done a lot more representation to that character. And hell, by the time, let's say, his movies come in, you could fill in that whole thing of saying, yeah, let's do a bigger push on that character, because I'm always a big fan of legacy characters. I mean, that's just how I see. Whoa, what happened? What happened, man?
I don't know. So I lost connection. What I was trying to say is this: as far as what's going on with Coates writing Captain America, basically, he's trying to write these left-wing politics, like these extremist left-wing politics. But the problem with Captain America is, it's not about politics per se. It's about what's common sense in the morality of good and bad, what's right and wrong. It's about the common sense of the morality.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Yeah, I could agree with that.
When it comes to good and bad, it's just about what's common sense. It's not about injecting your own personal beliefs, but what's in the common sense, what's good and bad. Like for example, death is bad. Pedophilia is bad.
Stealing's bad. Yeah, I got you. Murder.
It's just what's good and bad in the common sense and what the common morality. That's what Captain
Yeah,
America's always been about. Like Captain America fights, what's bad. Batman fights what's bad. That's what all these legacy characters do. That's what it's always been about, the fight against good, against bad, basically. And
yeah, I can agree with that
that's why
statement,
all these modern comic books are going down the shitter, because they're going outside of what's a common sense of morality, of like just common
but
sense
a lot of
morality.
people, I mean, like, but a lot of people sometimes get bored of that storytelling because no
One
offense,
sec,
but
you're really starting to like I don't know what's going on.
what? You hear me now? You hear me now, dude?
I think as with my phone, I can hear you now.
Was I breaking? Was I glitching or something on your side?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What I was
Sorry for that.
What I was trying to say is that when it comes to these newer books, what's good and bad are the opinions of the writers.
I personally feel like I could agree with that statement, but I could disagree with that at the same time, because a lot of times people just want more. And to be fair, I really don't want the same old stuff that I've seen. And I would rather have something brand new and interesting, and not forced down my throat of the nostalgia goggles like Rebirth was. And I'm sorry, it was a hardcore nostalgia goggles. Let's do everything we can to get rid of what we established, and just yes, hold on. Give me 1 minute. Yeah.
The problem is with these newer books, you have all these activists who are writing these books. And a lot of times, what they do when they tell like regular comic books, they tell them not to buy their books, and they don't sell.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. But but here's the thing. Who knows? Let's say you're doing just regular ass stories. No one is gonna give a shit.
Here's the thing. Good writing and good storytelling, those are what sell books.
I find that very. I find that. I'm gonna say this. No offense to you, but I really find that very hard to believe, because
why do you think the Power Ranger books sell so well? Because everyone likes the story and the writing of Lord Drakkon. Lord Drakkon is what sold those books.
Yeah, I know that, but the name alone, it's going to be sold like hotcakes, because if you're going to have books like Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, whatever, the name alone will sell. They're going to have their fan base right there. The problem is, like, characters like legacy characters, like maybe Kate Bishop or Captain Falcon or Jane Foster Thor or Ironheart or War Machine, they're not going to sell because they think it's a political agenda, but it's more like they're doing something new and different because probably the books didn't do that well. And
you know why Miles Morales became a really good character recently?
Because of taking a risk and actually making the Ultimate Universe fucking worth something to go into.
What they did was they made the more recent games, and they made the movie, and they tried actually writing his character naturally. The problem with a lot of these newer materials is sometimes they don't write these characters in naturally. They don't try like here's the thing, like in Spawn. How caught up are you in with Spawn?
Go on.
Like, when Al Simmons dies, and then Jim's the new Spawn, basically.
Yeah, that's true. That he was.
There's a scene in one of the books where basically the spirit of Al Simmons basically hands over the mantle of Spawn to Jim.
Yes, that is true. You are right about that one.
That doesn't necessarily happen. That doesn't necessarily happen in the comic book version of Miles Morales, like in the very beginning, but it did happen in the movie, and Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that. I could agree with that statement right there.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to these newer characters, they need good storytelling. That's what drives people to these movies. That's what drives people to make these.
That. Even though you had that stuff, people are going to reject that. Even though you're going to have I'm just going to use another character from DC. I like Cassie Kane, the second Batgirl. and she's basically a mute. If you throw her in there, people are not going to reject. People are not going to like her right out of the gate. Maybe the fan base who liked her in the older books it would, but they're not going to welcome her, or they're not going to welcome War Machine back to be an Iron Man because they think it's a political agenda. Because I mean, I feel like today's day and age doesn't understand where sometimes you got to take risk on things and you don't understand. But I mean, the biggest difference on movies and comic books is, comic books, yes, it could change a lot of things. I could agree with you on the Miles situation. They established
here's another thing too. Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, that wasn't a political thing. That was the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, it was. And they
in fact Sam Wilson rejected the idea of being Captain America just for the sake of being black, because he didn't like and having his multiple times it established in the show that he didn't like being called the Black Captain America. He just wanted to be called Captain America because that's what he is.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, I agree.
Like he understands the pain of what the previous Captain America, what Bucky went through, and that other character, the African American super soldier, who actually was Captain America in some form or fashion in the comic books.
Oh yeah, he was technically the first Captain America, and he got pretty much pushed over aside because that whole racist mentality going, and it worked beautifully.
I mean, he didn't. I'm like, he understood the pain, but he wanted to show him that it's a different time, it's a different reality. There's no political agenda per se. It's just a matter of what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And I can agree with that statement, what you just said. But I mean, my whole argument is like, in comics, I feel like, yes, you could do stories. Yes, you could do a lot of great things and have heroes test themselves and going forward. But my argument is saying sometimes that really doesn't sell that very well. Sometimes people want to have either they don't like that character and they're trying to get those audience. Now, granted, it's 50-50 that works or not, but I mean, it has to click. Like Miles, it was a big risk doing a black, I think he was Mexican, or correct me if I'm wrong.
He's half African and half Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, thank you. I was thinking, was he Mexican or was he something else? I know he's black, but there was another race he was a part of as well. So you have that demographic right there, and at the gate, it didn't. Let's say people didn't work so well with Miles at first, but now, yes, I agree. He has fully become that character where he's getting that big fan base that he truly deserves, and I'm happy for that character. But I mean, it took a massive risk to get that character going. The same thing with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. You have that character. You have a character that's taking the mantle, basically a female Captain Marvel. And I'm saying it
with Kamala Khan. I don't know, man. Every time they try to, it just now Kamala Khan. I'm going to be honest with you. She seems like a forced character, if you ask me.
No, I think I disagree with that statement. I think personally she's a right character because let's all face facts. That character, Carol Danvers. I read the original Miss Marvel comics. It was a bullshit book. I mean, I'm sorry. It was like, no wonder why Marvel cut her book off and gave her a second ongoing series years down the line. And they realized, like, you know what? Why don't we make her a Captain Marvel? I mean, the sole reason why we cancel her book and be a supporting character for the Avengers for such a long ass time is because they didn't know what to do with that character. And that's the thing about characters about her. They didn't know about where to go. And this is the thing about Marvel and DC. They don't know where to go on certain characters. And they have that opportunity to where, okay, let's have Kamala Khan take on that mantle because, we're having yours truly, Miss Marvel herself becoming the new Captain Marvel. And, that worked off pretty well so far. So, I mean, screw it. Why don't we give this character a shot, and plus, why don't we make the Miss Marvel mantle something, because let's all face facts. The only good Miss Marvel run was the second run.
There's
And
only one. There's only one Captain Marvel I know of, and
that's
he's now called
Marvel.
Shazam. He's now called Shazam.
Oh, yeah, I could agree with that statement right there. I mean, but granted, that's DC's little bullcrap direction on. They didn't he fly first, and Superman would just hop around, and DC just buried, and I mean buried, Shazam, or Captain Marvel, should I say, to a point where, let's just say, they wanted to bury him so bad that they wanted to make Superman look good, in a way.
I don't know the history between DC and Shazam. All I know is they were having a dispute over just the name Captain Marvel, so they just let Marvel have that name, and they changed Captain Marvel to just Shazam in later material.
I think at one point they had both. They both shared the names. But I mean, but I personally think Miss Marvel was a character that, aka Kamala Khan, is a very refreshing and interesting going forward. And that's the thing about Marvel comics or just DC general. When you have characters, when you have stories, you could do more and do interesting. The problem is, what?
I was blowing my nose. Sorry.
But, and granted, I mean, you and I could disagree. I mean, that's fine. I think I think honestly, she's one of the best parts of today's comics. But the biggest issue is, you have those biggest problems in Marvel on certain other issues, like say.
Well, my issue with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is I think she was purposely created just to push out something that seemed diverse, but they didn't really put effort into her writing until many years later, is what I'm referring to.
I don't know. I think she's just been the same.
It's like the same thing they did with Miles Morales. They just made a random character, and then that character didn't get any well-written stories until way later after its creation.
I personally feel like Bendis did his best. I mean, yet again, it wasn't like the original OG run of the Ultimate Universe, but yet again, he was doing things that I feel like were interesting and enough.
I think Bendis' best work is when he was working at Image. Everything after just pales in comparison.
I don't know. The only thing he did, what I looked at, is his Spawn book.
I don't really support a lot of Marvel DC stuff. I mostly support the independent stuff because Marvel and DC has been going down the fucking shitter for years.
Whoa!
And the only thing they've been doing well was with the movies and the shows.
I kind of disagree with that statement, but that's fine. That's on you, man. But I mean,
well, I mean, for years they've had the rights and stuff to all these characters, but yet they squander them. Like they had the rights to all of the Jim Lee's characters from Image, and yet they barely used the characters, and they've just died off when they ended the 52.
That's probably Jim Lee's fault. But yet again, Jim Lee is the one fucking idiot asshole that lied to his ass on the people that he trusted, and he told a lie towards them, and then later on he broke the news and said, "Hey, I'm going to DC." Yeah,
like for example, they have access to all these characters like Phantom Stranger, Spectre, Swamp Thing.
True.
I mean, Swamp Thing was one of the best stories that Snyder wrote for the New 52 line. In fact, I think it was one of the best-selling books of that line.
Him and his Batman stuff worked very well. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
Huh? Oh.
No, not you, but I mean, what the fuck happened?
I don't know.
I guess. Well, I don't know, but I mean, but I mean, how do you think Superman should be represented to a black? And do you think yours truly, Superman should be like the whole gender black culture? Oh, here he's back now. Okay, you were saying, buddy?
I was saying that Swamp Thing is one of the best written characters and all of the DC characters comics in the universe, but yet they underutilize him and everything they do either gets canceled or pushed aside.
I could agree with that statement, but yet again, I could say the same thing to my favorite character, Raven. But yet again, that's just here or
Well,
there.
Raven's a decent character, but she's more of a side character, to be honest with you.
I personally think she get a bigger push. I think she really should get a bigger push. I mean, they tried giving her 3 comic books. 2 of them were good, and I mean, like it could show that she could be a really great as a solo artist. But I mean, and also the graphic novel even proved that even further. But it's just the facts are you really kind of see a lot of the what's that word the regression. Oh yeah, exactly. Thank you. The regression of not pushing that character. And this is the thing, like the whole thing of my argument, I was like, DC and Marvel needs to push legacy characters. They need to somewhat have some characters retire and just end those stories. I mean, you see independent characters ending their stories and just passing the mantle and going forward with that direction. The problem is they won't do that is because they know that won't sell. And that's the issue.
But back to the issue we were talking about from the very beginning. I have no issue with telling new iterations of legacy characters and making them a different race, as long as they were well written, because that's what it's all about. A well written and a very good story.
Okay, you got me on that one. I could agree with that statement right there. I mean, like I could agree with that statement. What you just said, because I think personally, and yeah, I agree, Ren, Batman overshadows every DC character now these days. But I mean, the facts are, my argument is I feel like they're going to change Superman. My argument is like you're going to spin that narrative, because I feel like he's always portrayed as a white male protagonist.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being portrayed as that, but I'm just saying, if you're ever going to do a new interpretation, at least have it well written.
That I can agree.
Have it be enjoyable. Don't write the character being an insufferable prick.
Because
that's what I guaranteed that Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to do. He's going to write this version of Superman to be an insufferable prick.
Very political.
Going 616, man.
Oh yeah, that Coates guy, he writes a lot of like boring political stories at times. It's just really weird.
Okay.
And here's the thing I'm going to say when people write. Here's the thing: what goes on in comic books isn't necessarily politics, but what's common sense in the morality of what's good and bad, basically.
Yeah.
That's what drives the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could agree with that statement. But yeah, I mean, I know you and I have our differences on opinions on comic books. I completely feel that, because I mean, like, I feel like comic books should be represented in different ways, and I feel like you have your own opinion, and I mean, like, on Marvel and DC, and I see the independent stuff. I mean, and also I want to know one thing just before I end this whole thing. Do you think that, let's say DC, stop publishing DC Comics and just goes to a different publisher? How would you feel about that?
I honestly wouldn't have an issue as long as they were good. It was like something like, if it went to Image, I wouldn't have an issue. If you went to IDW, oh fuck yeah, I have a problem with that.
Oh hell, IDW does have some good shit. I mean, what the hell, man? What's going on?
Well, do you know who's publisher at IDW right now?
No.
Heather Antos, the person who got kicked out of Marvel.
Okay, so I mean,
some of the worst comic books were published while she was an editor.
What was the time period that on the worst publishing?
She was a publisher, I think 2017, 2018. And then she went to go work for Valiant Comic Books, and then she got fired from Valiant.
No, let me go look. 2017.
I think it was an all new, all different era thing.
My favorite time period in comics. Oh god, that was literally the best shit ever.
Like 2015 to 2018.
Yeah, that was the best shit ever. What are you talking about? That was one of the best times in comic books, you ask me. I mean, like, granted, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I liked was in that era, and a lot of things that I liked in that particular time period was the legacy type stuff. I mean, but yet again, that's just me. I mean, like, I mean, and plus they put my character Iron Man as the front center.
Well, I'm just saying, after she was done working at Marvel, she went to go work for Valiant, and next thing you know, Valiant's now downsizing.
Valiant sucks, in my opinion. I really could not care less.
I'm just saying, look what happened after they hired her. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, to me, like, I only read the Transformers stuff, and that's really mainly it. And they've been killing it, but I mean, like, when I go to IDW, I only read Transformers and the High. Actually, I take that back. It not only Transformers, but the Star Wars High Republic. But that's really it.
And plus, and here's another reason why I believe that DC should go to Image if DC stops publishing. Well, because for number one, Todd McFarlane's one of the best fucking comic book creators in this industry.
I could agree with that statement.
Batman would flourish under Todd McFarlane. Oh,
dude, it would. He would make so many, like, there would be crossovers. There would be storylines being like
Superman would flourish under Robert Kirkman due to his Invincible story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could agree with that statement. I could really agree with that statement. I really think that could be really great.
Another thing is they can go to Boom too. Boom's really good with the Power Ranger stuff.
Oh yeah, I could see that too. I wouldn't mind them too. How would you feel if they do? How would you feel DC go to Marvel?
Well, technically, Boom is owned by Disney.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's owned by Disney, but it's independently run from Marvel.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for that information. I didn't know that.
That's why you see most of the Disney oriented comic books published by Boom, like Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, for example.
Oh yeah, I definitely. But I'm just saying, how would you feel if they went to Marvel? I mean, I'm just saying.
It would be a monopoly. I don't think it would happen.
Okay, I mean, I could see what your problem. Hey, Ren, if you want to come down here, you can come down here if you want. I'm gonna go send it to you. All right. It's my other friend, Ren Grayson. Ren Grayson. He's a good friend of mine. Image DC characters will be. Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, some DC characters belong to Image. Some need to go to. Some go to.
It wouldn't be a matter of. It wouldn't be a matter. It would just be who would have the publishing rights. Because Warner Brothers still owns the characters. He just owns the rights to publishing the books.
Because I mean, the reason why they. I
don't think Valiant would get those rights to DC because Valiant, I think, is going to shut its doors pretty soon.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they just hired Heather Antos just as a means to, keep her having a job, because when you're part of this very political comic book community, they have to look after each other, or else they chastise each other.
Yeah, I could agree.
But if you say you're a part of a community like Comicsgate, they'd look after you too. I guess I would say.
I don't know what that is. I mean, just
Comicsgate is kind of like it's run, but it's I wouldn't say it's run, but I would say it's spearheaded by a guy who used to work for DC, Ethan Van Sciver, the guy who did all the good Green Lantern shit before he left in 2018, 2017.
You mean this is before Jeff Johns, or?
No, yeah. I think this was during Jeff Johns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because even Van Sciver was working with Jeff Johns during all the Rebirth stuff when it came to.
I lost a lot of respect on Jeff Johns to a point where I'm like, I think his DC stuff sucks now, in his books. I mean, that's just how I feel. I think he's slowly trying to go down to the Bendis slow decline.
Well, I think his 3 Joker story was pretty good.
I think like it was good, but also sucked at the end. I mean, like there was a lot of plot, like let's say plot drops. I mean,
what exactly was your criticism for
my
the Jokers?
criticism. Okay, my criticism is all right. They didn't really explain to where okay, supposedly these three Jokers does exist. Okay, but now you're just pretty much kill off every single one of them, and you just make it where okay, we're just gonna keep the Killing Joke or whatever, and just make it where oh, the Joker wants to have a Bat family, and I'm like. So wait. Not only we wasted this, and also before that, even further, we stalled this out so long.
What can you emphasize what do you mean what he wants by a Bat family? Can you emphasize on that?
What I mean is a Joker family. You have a female.
I don't. Well, actually, I think that was that wasn't the thing. I think that was more of a diversion. That was more of a that wasn't an actual main thing. But because Joker says that he never wanted to turn Joe Chill into the Joker. But it was just a ploy to get Batman's attention per se.
I could okay. I got
because let's look at it like this way: all three Jokers represent an era of Batman.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But I mean, the problem is, I wanted a little bit more, and I wanted a little bit of like, why are these like, how does these three Jokers intertwine one another? And that was my biggest like, theories like maybe
well if you ever noticed like Joker's always seemingly escaping prison, he's always assumed to be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how these Jokers play. And like for example, if something were to happen to one Joker, the other would take his place.
Yeah, that's what I thought
that's the emphasis on the three Jokers. It's a matter of Joker as a character will never truly die.
So basically you kind of it's pretty much going what I was about to say. You pretty much made the Joker into a legacy character, where
yes.
it will the name alone will keep carrying on. Meanwhile,
that's the reason why they revealed what happened in the Killing Joke actually happened, because despite what this character's origins will be, you'll never know who the true Joker is.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm sorry.
Because it still could be the Killing Joke wasn't the first Joker, just one of the Jokers.
Yeah, that's why I just feel like it's just stupid.
Well, I think that's because here's the thing. You know who one Joker is. That doesn't really ruin the aspect of the Joker at all. It doesn't, because there'll still be mystery with the Joker in every turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I
in fact, if anything, the three Jokers could set up an interesting story arc for the Joker. Like, for example, Harley Quinn, the Joker finding out that his family is still alive, and then Joker having a morality issue of should he continue being the Joker, because the reason why he became the Joker was because of the death of his wife.
I get what you're saying on that.
Like, they can do an actual, if they wanted to, they can do a death of the Joker, the end of a Joker story, basically.
And I wouldn't be surprised at that too. But
or they would actually end the Joker by him, like saying a redemption arc, sort of in a sense, where he.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would do that, because he has a book now. Oh, truth! Oh shit, dude! I didn't expect you to show up. Another good friend of mine, but if you want to come down the live stream, come down. We're just talking about DC stuff, but I'm just saying. And also Marvel stuff on top of that too. But it's just like, for me, I personally feel that with the whole back to the main topic a little bit, just kind of go back on what I was saying. I just think that you're gonna throw in that culture of black people in it. And I think that's where they're going to change the Superman character. And that's why I feel like I don't agree with Stormsink. I don't think he's right in that way. I feel like he's wrong in so many levels. And I just don't think he is, let's just say, in my opinion,
I saw his clickbait thumbnail, but what did Stormsink actually, or what did Robert talk about in his video per se?
Okay. In his video, he really doesn't care, and he thinks it doesn't matter of the whole black Superman. He goes on the whole bullshit Dragon Ball Evolution, Goku's Asian. I'm like, okay, you're right. Yes, you're right. Goku is and Superman are aliens from different planets. But in a way, they're always portrayed as a white fucking male.
Didn't
They're
that
not-
Storm Zink, Robert Storm's guy get mad about the Zendaya MJ thing a long time ago in his review?
Yeah. He
also got mad. He also got butthurt about Joker not getting an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, he's a good. Those movies are really great, but I'm sorry. I mean, like, it is what it is. I mean,
Here's one thing I want to talk about is that the Joker movie, I would say it's 100% accurate. It would be it's 100% accurate to the character Joker.
I can agree with that. I mean,
Because if you're familiar with the character Joker, you know that he's crazy and that he doesn't even know his own origin.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you notice all
like
of his
modern age Joker.
And if you know all of, if you've seen the movie and you've seen every time you see a clock in any scene, it's the same time, exact time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, at the end, the person, the asylum asks, "What's so funny?" And he says, "You wouldn't get the joke." And the joke is that nothing is real.
Oh shit! I can actually buy that. I mean,
He's been in the asylum the entire time.
Oh yeah, I know. But I mean, but back to the whole thing I was saying. I mean, like, the facts are. I mean, like, it really just says a lot on the whole. Like, I in my opinion, I feel. What's that word? I just don't want Superman to be black, and I really I'm trying to point out this video on alone because I'm like, I think he's dead on wrong. I think what you're trying to say, I'm like,
think of it this way: this just might be a standalone film, and that's about it.
That's the thing. Yes, it's a standalone film, but I mean, yet again, when you have a standalone film, and let's say it's successful, therefore you literally change everything.
It's not going to change everything, though. It's just going to be a film. A new interpretation of the character, though.
Let me say this. So when I mean when you change everything, you kind of establish it's okay to change a character, and that's the whole my argument, and that's the problem that I'm trying to spin off my narrative, and I just wanted to say my 2 cents on his bullshit opinion because I think a lot of times in his videos, I think he's bullshit, but usually I don't really. Let's just say, in better words, I don't let people get through my skin, but this one really rubbed me the wrong way, and it really just made me feel like, you know what, I might as well just say my 2 cents and just fucking go forward and just say, yeah, he's right on one thing, but also he's wrong at the other, and it's just like I really feel like I think he's bullshit. I think he's wrong on that level, but I mean. That's just how it is. I mean, my whole thing is it's just a responding towards his opinion, saying he's wrong, but it's also saying you're right on one argument, but also you're wrong at the other. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole thing that I was just trying to go for, and I feel like they're just trying to. Literally throw in this narrative. Oh, let's do the multiverse, but let's use it as a shield to put in our own agenda because we could do DC movies outside of Zack Snyder's universe that he built.
I think I understand what you're saying, Edgar. It's kind of like you saying like you don't want them to try to make Al Simmons black just for the sake. I mean, Simmons white just for the sake of making him white.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, the story, if it has good stuff and great writing, I mean, yeah, it could basically make my whole argument look like a pile of dog shit. But I mean, but my argument and my response is like, let's say you change Al Simmons white. Therefore, you change that character. You make him white, you're going to have him be representing the white male Boy Scout in a way because Al Simmons is a black American person, and it really will change that character if you turn him white, because he will be drastically different than a black man. Because black man, if you compare it towards an average white man, they're drastically different. They're night and day a lot of times. And I just feel like that's where I just like, no, that's where I draw the line there. I'm like, no, you don't change a character just because you want to capture the Marvel formula because you want to. You're good. I mean, there are black Superman characters that you could do and have people would say not a word. I mean, granted, people would say, why don't you use Henry Cavill because he's there right in your disposal, and just go forward, and then eventually have a black Superman going
They
forward.
can just make a Steel film if they wanted to.
That
Steel.
too. I could actually, you
Yeah.
could do that. I mean,
A reboot.
Well, I mean, have a Steel film that takes place before Justice League, but after Man of Steel. I mean, after
Yeah.
BVS, in between BVS and Justice League.
And that could be a really good one too. But I mean, it's just fuck me. I mean, but mind asking, how do you feel about the Marvel universe? How do you feel about that whole universe?
Cinematic universe?
Yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah,
I think it's doing all right, but it kind of like with the newer shows, they could have done a lot better, especially WandaVision.
well, I can agree with that statement, but I mean, I think personally, it's fine. I mean, I think.
Well, I mean, in WandaVision, I was expecting maybe a cameo. Here's the thing: I was expecting two things from WandaVision: Doctor Strange,
Mhm.
and Mephisto.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I was.
Expecting X-Men characters to show up, kind of happened because of that Pietro scene that happened.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was gonna be like they were gonna bring that whole Quicksilver from the Fox universe and just transfer over to the MCU. And a lot of times I was just thinking like, are they just gonna transfer the Fox universe into the main Marvel universe, or just transfer the good parts because they're doing that with Deadpool?
They still could through Deadpool 3.
Yeah, I could buy that. Yeah.
Which Deadpool 3 could happen because of what happened in WandaVision. But it was nice talking to you guys. I gotta get going.
It was good talking to you. I mean,
likewise.
I'll just say this: you're always welcome here. You're always welcome on a live stream. I mean, I always have.
If you ever have one with John again, just hit me up.
Dude, I'll try to hit you up, man. I'll track you down. I mean, no problem.
Okay. I'll catch you guys later.
All right, see ya.
Oh, also tonight I'll probably be streaming. Village tonight when it's available to play digitally.
Oh, Resident Evil 8. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I heard a lot of praises on that.
Just don't spoil it. I haven't played it yet.
I haven't looked at the ending. I haven't looked at nothing. I'm kind of at your end, just like, no, don't spoil anything. I mean, you get what I mean? I don't want to have the situation of Last of Us Part 2.
I'll probably be giving you guys a link to because I'm going to be doing this on Twitch for the views, for more views.
Go get some follows on him. He's a good friend of mine, and it was good seeing you, buddy.
Likewise. I'll talk to you guys later.
Anyway. Oh my god. Ernie, if you want to come down here, you can come down here, right? If you really want to. I mean, like, if you really want to, just come down here. Truth, if you're there still, I mean, just come down here. I mean, like, I'm dying to hear you. Like, the link is right here. Come on board. But I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like, his narrative it's stupid, and I just think like I gotta do a video about it. I mean, he just made me cause doing a video. I'm like, yes, the skin color doesn't really matter as much, but if you look at it, the character of Superman, what is he really? A white male. What was it? Oh, that's Ren. Ren, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Do you get my logic, or do you think I'm fucking I'm an idiot for saying this shit?
Well, I get your logic. I mean, you did prove a good point about between Al Simmons, Gene Change White, but here's the thing, though. reading these articles of their insider source of saying that's going to be Kal-El, I don't truly believe it because they're not naming.
I'm trying not
source.
to. I'm trying not to. I'm like, I mean, Ren, I haven't talked about this to you on Facebook, but I mean, I try really hard not to really hate him, but it's just like the only thing that fuels me, and it's like, okay, if we're gonna do this Black Superman, all right then, it's set for failure because no one's gonna accept this version. Everyone's gonna be using that whole, well, you have Heaven Cavill there, why don't you use him? I mean, like, that's that whole thing. And I'm just slowly kind of thinking they don't have Heaven Cavill as contract. They don't have him. I mean, and if they did, why don't they use him? I mean, and it just kind of makes me
They
feel
do
like,
have Henry under contract. It's just that it's like what they're always saying. They don't know what to do with him because of the criticism that Man of Steel got.
yeah, that's the thing too. I was just about saying that. I'm like, they're so scared of the criticism. I'm like, dude, fuck the criticism. I mean, like, if I were them, I mean, like, I would just keep on going. Don't stop. I mean, and this is the problem that I hate about the Warner Brothers. They listen so much. This is the same thing all over again with the whole Tim Burton fucking bullshit of, oh, people were so scared on how Penguin was and everything between on that fucking hunky dory shit, and they have it where, oh, we're gonna use fucking yours truly, whatchamacallit, shit, I'm trying to fuck his name, Joel Schumacher, as like a soft reboot for our new Batman, and it's like, you're just using this for your own bullshit game. I mean, this is bullshit. This is not going to work. This is not going to do that well. You would have to.
Though, with the Black Superman, I think it's gonna succeed because the majority of the audience is gonna be black. With Black Panther, I think it's the original hero. Like, if they would do a Black Lightning film, that would have been much easier.
Yeah, I could see where they're going. I could see
Static. Like, we're getting Static. We actually are getting a Static film, which that's gonna make probably billions of dollars because she's resurrected.
I'm looking forward to it on that one because I'm a big fan of Static Shock and I think he's going to be great. But I mean, I'm hoping that the actor, a certain actor really gets it right. I mean, but that's just me. But I mean, the problem is, this is just how I feel, and this is how, like, me and my friend Alex just literally talking about him. I'm like, we really just want. He wants the story to be right. I want it to be just literally like, can't we just do a Superman right? Like, can't we have Superman just literally get his own
here's
friend?
the thing, though. Superman is considered boring to a lot of audiences out there who try to read his comics.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't blame them. When I first got into Superman, I was like, okay, this is boring. But when I got older, New 52 is what got me more into Superman.
Oh, yeah, I could agree with that statement. Yet again, when you look at Superman, yes, he is a character where he has he has the Superman original superpowers, you could say, the typical superhero stereotype. But my argument and my stand is like, there's so much greater meaning factor on the character of Superman, on having him be with other characters like Supergirl or shit like that, because you could have that whole story of having Superman trying to be a hero and struggling, and you could go forward. And Man of Steel represented that. And it really just, like, in better words, I feel like a lot of times when it got criticized, it was only criticized because the Christopher Reeves bullshit. They're so used to, and this is the biggest, and this is what I'm going to say this, the biggest crime and shame on Warner Brothers is they allow Superman to become this one character that people recognize, but only the Christopher Reeves. That's why you have the, for a time, and this is just going to use this for an argument and also change it at the same time to an extent. When you have the CW version of Superman before he got his show and actually became a fucking character, he became the stereotypical Christopher Reeve. And every little
Well, that's how he was portrayed in the comics, though. Think about it. Before New 52 happened, he was a thing of hope and all that, and and he was dorky in some points. Like, I remember that scene in Superman and Lois, how the kid said, "Oh, it's a cool costume." He goes, "Oh, hey, my mom made it." It's like, yeah, that's the Superman I recognized.
Yeah,
the whole situation feels like that one response. Remember when Superman Returns came out, it did okay, and then over time people were like, "Oh, this isn't what I wanted."
Yeah, exactly, and that's the problem that I feel like with a lot of fucking people, and I'm like, and I feel like we're gonna go represent that, and I'm gonna say this right now: J.J. Abrams, as much as I love the guy, he's one of my favorite directors. I will fucking admit, I don't care what anyone says. I mean, people have their favorite directors. I think J.J. Abrams could do a great movies. Love his Star Trek films. Love his Star Wars movies. I mean, his only 2 movies. I think he should have directed the entire trilogy, if you ask me. It's just, but that's a whole different subject. I just don't think J.J. Abrams has that fucking.
Well, he's only producing it. He's not going to direct it.
I know that, but he's in charge of the DC films. Like, he's going to be his company is going to be a big chunk of the DC films. And that's the thing. And I'm like, oh dear, we're set.
They tried this back in the day with Superman Flyby, J.J. Abrams Superman Flyby.
Yeah, and that's exactly. But I mean, but yet again, I would say, like, I don't think, like, and I'm just being honest, I don't think this whole, let's have Abrams take over and go forward with his direction just because Abrams is big now. And his company, look, I like his movie Cloverfield. That was a really good movie. The sequels were really good too. And they were produced, and he was along with him producing the sequels of Cloverfield. I just don't think his studio has the mindset to be capable of, and I'm saying this, be capable of doing DC films. Unless I could be proven wrong and we get good writers and the rest is history, and I could basically just look at myself and say, what the fuck I was thinking? I mean, shit, for crying out loud. I mean, do I want to be proven wrong? I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. I would love to look like an idiot who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and just love the time. But yet again, I just don't trust them. I just don't, because they spin that narrative so hard, and I just feel like with Warner Brothers, and for people who really just, and I'm gonna say this, no offense to people, really just okay with this kiss ass bullshit, it's just stupid in my opinion. And yeah, I agree with my friend Alex. Yeah, I completely agree with Mr. Inferno. I personally agree that, yeah, if we had yours truly, a good writer, yeah, we would have no problems doing a black Superman. But in a way where we could try to do
an article that the changes could be possible. I mean, it's still early right now.
Yeah, it still could basically be one of the 2 characters. Could be Earth 2, which is more likely that's going to happen. And it's more likely that Michael.
They did confirm that this Superman movie is going to be on Earth too, the same Earth as Joker and the Batman.
Yeah, that's kind of funny too. I put that picture up, like, oh wow.
I did call it the other couple of weeks ago when I found out, oh, they're going to do Earth too. That's what's going to happen, because Henry Cavill is still under contract, and I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers won't interfere with that contract because they already paid somebody royalties who was supposed to be in the Batman movies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, like, I really am. I mean, personally, I just don't really I just don't trust Warner Brothers. I just don't. I really just feel like, Warner Brothers, to me, and I'm being honest with all of you, and even outside of this whole thing. I mean, like, I don't think Warner Brothers is capable of doing this character, or just literally understanding what are you trying to pull. Like, oh, okay, I get it. You don't know where to go with this character. Make it into a timepiece. Or just make it where, do a sequel of Man of Steel, have the tone to be a very light hope, Marvel Studios, happy friendly type direction, but we have it where this character has evolved and years have passed. He's got a son, John Kent, and we go forward with that whole father figure. People would be all for it. Or we can have it, or in the same time, just go even further. You could have where he loses his powers and his son has to be the hero.
That would be interesting. That was supposed to be the Return sequel.
No, oh wow, oh shit, dude! I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me that one.
Yeah, they're supposed to be focusing on his son.
Yeah, they would have aged him up and had him fight like Brainiac or something. I remember Brainiac was there.
Hell, you could do that too. You could do that. I mean, like, it's not that hard. I mean, like, there are other stories, there are other things that you could represent, and don't have to change his skin color. And this is the thing. Like, granted, I'm hoping the whole black Clark Kent is bullshit, because if it's not, this is doomed to fail automatically. There's not a fucking like maybe. No, it is. It is a fact. It is done. No matter where this movie goes, no matter how good is this thing gonna do, it is not gonna really capitalize on what people want or what people really think it's gonna be a good direction. Yes, I agree. Yes, Superman can be the most boring shit. I mean, I can agree. Rebirth was fucking that shit. No offense to anyone. But I mean, the biggest fucking bullshit, and I'm being honest with you. I mean, the biggest bullshit, and I just don't want this character to change into a like, oh, we're going to change this character just because we couldn't be successful as a white male. So we're just gonna take the Wakanda Superman, change his name as Clark Kent, and just pretty much have the same story.
So it's like I said yesterday, we don't know, if it is Kal-El, we don't know if it's going to be Clark Kent or it's going to be Calvin Ellis, because I think Calvin Ellis fits Kal-El due to the visuals, the way they sound.
I don't know. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I think it's just, I just don't like it. I really think, the whole skin color, yes, I agree. He's an alien. He's from a planet, but he's always represented as a white male. Changing that is literally changing that character, in my eyes. Because you're going to bring in the black culture. You're going to bring in the African-American direction. And it just...
To be honest, I thought, since we're going to have a Latina Supergirl, I thought they were going to bring in a Latin guy, like the one from Gods of Monsters.
Yeah, but Supergirl, honestly, with her, there are different versions of Supergirl. I mean, if it's going to be Kara Zor-El, I might have a problem with that too. But I mean, the problem is if they're going to do, let's say, the clone or the android fucking Supergirl, the whole
the Matrix one.
Yeah. And the whole bullshit, or the Lex Luthor clone, whatever. I mean, it was the third or fourth run where she had angel wings and all that shit, and I'm like, oh fuck me, dude, this is literally gone. The most.
Oh ridiculous. Yeah, that one was Linda Danvers, Supergirl.
Yeah, if they do that direction, I mean, I wouldn't mind it, because I'm like, yeah, it's the same fucking character. It's the character that they're representing. I mean, like, representing certain characters is great, but I mean, changing like Johnny Storm in Fan4 Stick, changing that character changed everything about that movie. You made like Johnny is a typical white boy, blonde hair, blue eyes kid. He's always hot headed, and Captain America did it perfectly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, well, shit. He was perfect as Johnny. He was perfect as Captain America. I still love the first. I still love the first Fantastic Four movie in Fox. I almost said this. I think that movie, like in a better way, was a good attempt, but it had a shitty sequel. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, if you get what I mean. But I mean,
Fox wanted it cheap.
That too. But do you get what I'm saying? I know what you're trying to say, and I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I could be a complete idiot and moron for saying all this shit, like fucking John was in the whole Batman situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, what else? What else do you want to say before we end this shit?
I got nothing else to say. I get your points and all. It's more understandable of how certain people.
I mean, do you get the Storm 6 argument or like the whole like fucking bullshit that he's saying? I mean, it's just stupid in my opinion. It really does, because I'm like, and also like I feel like me and Inferno just literally just talked about like, you know, certain things on the whole Black Superman. I mean, personally, like the writer, yeah, I agree with him. He's a very political writer. But yet again, I always thought Captain America was always political to an extent.
Superman can be political.
Yeah, I can agree with that statement. Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, he can be, but it's going to be like the right story. Like it's going to be like,
yeah.
But what? Like hell, Superman 4 wasn't political because they were talking about nuclear weapons and all that stuff, and Nuclear Man and all that, which had great concepts, piss poor execution. But the biggest problem that I feel like, and this is just my issue, and this is my issue, is like I feel like you have characters to going forward to bring something in the table that you could have, and you don't want to utilize it. You don't want to utilize having a villain to bring that character going forward. And it's just like, it makes me kind of feel like you're just not using him because reasons.
If they set it up with like a plan, they could have brought in the multiverse that way and stuff. If they set it up and built up.
The plan is literally this: having the Flash movie open the multiverse up, having the where it's all connected. It's going to have multiple Justice. You're going to have a Justice League that's basically nothing more than a multiverse bullcrap, and it's like, oh, we're just basically make up shit as we go along. That's basically what we're going to do, and that's
so MCU in like 3 phases, but a Flash film plus multiverse in a way.
Yeah, basically. It's just, and that's why I shake my head even further. I'm like, so you're just pretty much going to throw in this whole shit fest because you don't want to fucking throw in anything. And it's like, thanks, really, really, really nice. Do you really want to push this even further? I mean, how much is it going to be enough? Where is it just going to be a point where you just want to put in your agenda? And I'll say this right now. I mean, personally, if I wish going even further, yeah, I agree with you. If DC stopped publishing and they just give it to someone else, and let's say give it to Image, oh yeah, it would have been heaven for me. I mean, like, oh good, McFarlane could do that crossover with Batman. He could do a lot of shit with Batman, with Spawn. Hell, you could even have, let's say, the Violator be one of the Jokers or something like that. Shit. I mean, shit, yeah. For crying. But I mean, it's just, or granted, I would have loved to have it where DC goes to Marvel. Then I get the biggest laugh factor out of them all. I mean, can't beat him, join him, type of deal. But I mean, I just don't want the whole character change. I'm like, characters should not be a change just because you're trying to capitalize on Marvel's success. And that's what I feel like they're always trying to. Because let's look at factor on the whole Avengers 1. They got super jealous because they saw how much money that movie made, and they realized we got to do our own Avengers movie. Got to do Justice League, and that's why they had Zack Snyder pretty much go forward, and you had Zack Snyder to literally do his plan, his whole Justice League, his whole direction, what he wanted to do. I mean, you saw that whole thing I tagged you on Instagram. Jesus Christ! Yeah. I mean, he was planning like years down the line. I'm like, holy fuck, this could have been amazing. This could have been greatness. Oh, wait, I know what happened. Bullshit happened. And that's what I see. And I'm done. I rest my case. I don't know what else I could say. I mean, I think personally, DC has lost. No, not DC. Warner Brothers has lost their minds.
And before that, they had Justice League Mortal, and they had the Wheel Bill script version.
Oh yeah, and the only reason why they stopped is two reasons. One, Warner Brothers didn't really have the confidence to do it, and two, they don't want to kill Christopher Nolan's little Batman trilogy. Which, to be fair, I think really Christopher Nolan. I mean, I'm kind of glad he's out of Warner Brothers to an extent because he is a moron. He is a moron to thinking, oh yeah, my movie's going to do well. Your movie bombed in the worst way, idiot.
Yeah, he's a bit pretentious.
And now he's going to Universal, which I'm like, good luck with you on the Universal. Hope you have success on your fucking films, which I don't think you are going to be that much successful. No offense. I think Christopher Nolan's a very overrated director. But I mean, it's just the problem is I don't like the gender. Like I said, I keep saying it. But yeah, I mean, I said my piece. I don't know what else I could say. I mean, I'm final. Mind asking also another thing is like, Rin, do you think that they're doing this despite they're responding to Marvel on a lot of things?
I think they're trying to get that money that the Marvel's getting.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Anyway, I rest my case on this. I mean, just recommending anyone who hasn't seen the show, go watch Shadow and Bones. Fucking amazing show. Anyway, it's on Netflix. Great show. But yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta get fucking shit. I mean, just I had to do this video because I really just got very much like, you know what? It's on my mind. I gotta say this because it's on my 2 cents, and I just want to fucking really say how I really feel about this thing. Just, yeah. Anyway, I gotta get going.